Well, hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. Today we will dive into a very exciting topic, HCM Excellence Spotlight, DataArt's award-winning She for Her Women's Leadership Mentoring Program. This session is eligible for HRCI, SHRM, and ATD Professional Development credits. Now, before we dive into today's content, let me tell you about Brennan Hall Group and some incredible opportunities that could accelerate your career. Brennan Hall Group is a leading professional development firm that has been serving learning, talent, and HR executives worldwide for more than 30 years. We've advanced the growth and performance of millions of employees and leaders through our cloud-based platform, delivering evidence-based research, data, and certification programs that empower organizations to achieve excellence in every area of human capital management. Our impact spans more than 10 million employees and executives globally, supported by a comprehensive research library, strategic insights, and prestigious awards program. Below is a sample of the organizations we are proud to partner with. We have incredible learning and networking opportunities. We have two BRIC events scheduled for next year, our AI Summit on October 15th and 16th, and our Women in Leadership event on November 18th. We also invite you to participate in our research studies. Links will be available after the webinar, or you can always visit brennanhall.com. Once results are analyzed, all participants receive a piece of complimentary research and other exclusive benefits. All details and applications for everything I've mentioned will be available in a PDF you'll receive within 24 hours after the webinar. I'm excited to share more about the Brennan Hall Group Excellence Awards, four prestigious programs recognizing organizational excellence. The HCM Awards honors innovation in training, learning, and HR, launching January 5th with an April 10th deadline. The Technology Awards recognize solution providers in learning, talent management, and workforce technologies, launching April 20th with a September 4th deadline. Our Education Technology Awards celebrate K through 12 universities and education associations, transforming learning, following the same April to September timeline. Finally, the Excellence in Action Awards spotlight organizations of all sizes that prioritize employee voice and create people-centric cultures, with 2025 announcements on December 10th and the 2026 program launching in May. Whether you're an HR team, technology provider, educational institution, or organization committed to employee engagement, there's a Brennan Hall Group Award designed to recognize your achievements and evaluate your reputation in the industry. Speaking of celebrating our award winners, we host our annual HCM Gala at the HCM Excellence Conference. In addition to the celebration of excellence, the conference offers 4 days of sessions packed with research insights, proven frameworks, and award-winning organizations sharing their best practices on stage and throughout numerous networking events. As a reminder, early bird pricing expires on December 5th, this Friday. We hope you'll join us February 9th through 12th in West Palm Beach, Florida. Now, just a few quick things to note. If you have any questions during the webinar, please use the questions panel on your control bar. We'll be answering them throughout the session. We're also recording today's webinar, and you'll receive an email within 24 hours with a link to the recording and a PDF of the slides. The chat box is open, so feel free to share your thoughts as we go along. Your input makes this more valuable for everyone. Now, I would like to pass things off to Rachel Cook, the COO at Brennan Hall Group.
Thank you, Ivy, and hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. I am excited to dive into our discussion with our panelist. We have with me Marina Melnick, Head of L&D at DataArt. Welcome. Hi, Marina. How are you?
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. I'm so excited for you to share your program and also especially around the results and the experience. And also with us is Elena Belova, the L&D manager from DataArt. Hi, Elena. How are you?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us. It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you here with me as well. And thank you all for joining us. And before we get started, I just wanted to cover our agenda, and then I have a quick poll question for you. I'll be turning it over to Marina and Elena, and they'll be sharing about their award-winning program that's going to include an interactive discussion guided by 5 excellence topics: strategic alignment, design and development, implementation, delivery, measurement and impact, and future lessons learned. And then just here, real quick, if we can get a poll question here launched from all of you, we would love to gain your thoughts. If you're interested in learning more about our institute, which includes courses, research around skill development, leadership topics, coaching, mentoring, and then the awards programs that we discussed, our upcoming conference next year in February, and then our Women Leadership Summit. If you take a moment here, and then Ivy, if the majority has responded, we can close this out. And now I want to also congratulate the team at DataArt for Best Leadership Development for Women. They received a gold, and again, congratulations. And I think now it's a good time to turn it over to you, Marina.
Sure. Thank you very much. Oh, you should be able to see my screen, right? So,
Yes.
hello
we
everyone
do.
again. Thank you for joining us today, and we would like to share the story of our She for Her Women's Leadership Mentoring Program, why we launched it, how we built it, and the results and insights that we gained along the way. And we'll tell our story in a 3-5-6-6 format. We'll talk about 3 goals that we had, 5 prep steps at a high level, 6 main program elements, and 6 key insights. And of course, we'll share the results that we gained as a result of the program. But before we dive into the program, let me say a few words about DataArt, just to give you some context. We're an IT company with around 6,000 colleagues spread across 40 locations worldwide. We're 28 years old, and we continue to grow into regions such as India and Latin America. So our challenges and our 3 goals that we pursued with this program. We started with a clear business need. Women make 31% of our workforce, which is not that bad actually. It's slightly higher than the average for IT industry. But if to look at management roles, only 24% are held by women, and we believe we can do better. And second, as DataArt grew globally, our workforce became more diverse. And with that, the expectations about diversity and inclusion also grew. And we saw this in the results of our annual engagement survey, and as well as in deep dive DABE interviews that we conducted. Our colleagues pointed out 2 major concerns. First, management teams were too homogeneous. And second, women were underrepresented in leadership roles. So we set 3 goals. First, to increase the percentage of women in management and leadership, to improve employee satisfaction with how the company supports women's. And interestingly, at that point, we already had a general leadership mentoring program, but we had the hypothesis that more women would apply if they had an additional space with women mentors only. And that's how the idea of Women for Women mentoring program was born in February last year. So the 5 high-level prep steps that we took was first, we quickly shaped the concept of the program, the goals, target audience, duration, steps, evaluation. And then at this step, there was something that seemed like something small, but turned out to be very helpful for us. I was really excited about the launch of the program, and I shared it in a post on LinkedIn. And my network reacted warmly. And someone from my network wrote that he knew people in other companies who were doing something similar, and that he would be happy to introduce us to each other. And through these connections, we had very useful, insightful knowledge sharing sessions with the representatives of two large global companies. They shared their tips, but what was more important and useful, they shared their failures. And this was a big help to our preparation, but also it was really encouraging to feel this support from the global community, actually. So once the program design was ready, we approached around 30 senior women leaders in our company, inviting them to be first mentors in a pilot group. And 60% of them immediately said yes. Then we created mentor profiles containing short bios, career paths, areas of mentorship, and also a personal note on why they wanted to mentor and participate. As to branding, we didn't even need to work on it. One of the women leaders we approached was our branding director, who the minute she read the concept of the program, she came up with the name right away. She wrote "She for Her." As to the logo, a similar story. One of the women leaders we approached was our design director, the head of our design studio. And she was so inspired that she actually spent her weekend designing a logo for us. So basically, the name came in one email and the logo came in one evening in a Teams chat on the weekend. So after that, we set up the necessary infrastructure, prepared communication, and we aimed to launch the program on a symbolic date on the 8th of March, which is International Women's Day. And we had a global company-wide town hall dedicated to this day, and we announced the launch of the program there. So all this, design, networking, branding, recruiting mentors, preparing their profiles, and other launch steps, it took us just 3 weeks. So those were the 5 steps. Now I'm passing the floor to Alona to talk about the 6 major program constituents.
Yeah, thank you, Marina. Hey, once again, guys. So, starting from the beginning, right? The mission of She for Her is to empower women in the company through supportive leadership, to increase their confidence and expand their networks, and ultimately to help them grow into leadership roles. So, the focus of the program is very practical: visibility, professional networking, leadership skills assessment and development, and confidence, which mentees actually constantly named as a key challenge. So, if we will be talking about target audience, then from the mentor side, those are mid to senior women leaders who are willing to share their expertise. And as for mentees, then here we have emerging and mid-level women leaders. So, to the process itself, right? The process is very simple and personal. We get applications from both mentees and mentors. And in this screenshot, you can see the mentee application form. So, mentees select their top 3 preferred mentors. And sometimes, if their first choice is unavailable, we match them with the second or third, and they also state their goals and preferred mentoring language. So next, we carefully match the pairs. We consider mentee's goals, mentor expertise, language, availability, and it happens sometimes that we advise a better match for the requested than the requested one from the mentee's side. So next, we have 2 kickoff meetings, one for mentors and one for mentees. There we cover expectations, program structure, confidentiality, roles, and all that. And I would also like to mention that we ask our participants to take a short online preparation course, which helps them a lot. And our mentors take a coaching skills webinar, which is also quite helping, as they say. So the mentoring journey is also quite simple, and each pair schedules their own rhythm, right? They meet, most of them, I would say, meet once a week or every other week for about 2 or 3 months. They set up goals together, they track progress, and they reflect at the end of the program when they are done, right? And in this wrap-up meeting, they think of what have been changed, what was achieved, what they might do next, and etc. So it is a good thing that we also give them a shared digital space where they can document their progress. So it's a mentor space where they have overall program goals, notes, insights, homeworks, milestones, whatever. So this is the how it is inside, right? And to the results, which were quite inspiring for us and for everyone. So after 1 year, after we had the very first run, we saw that 22% of our mentees transitioned into new roles or were promoted within this 1 year, and then 80% of them improved the specific skills they targeted. Almost 90% achieved their visibility goal, and 100% of mentees apply program learnings to their work. So among from that, we also saw a business from the business perspective side. The results were also impressive. So the number of women in senior management increased from 24% to 25%, and then our engagement surveys showed fewer comments about gender imbalance, and we saw a more functional and strong cross-functional women leadership community as a result of that. But something else happened. The program went external in a simpler and shorter format, but still, we have this corporate volunteering initiative called DataArt Calling, where our experts volunteer their time to consult people outside the company. So we applied the she for her concept there too. And our women leaders provided consultations on their areas of expertise to women outside the company, like one consultation for a person. And it turned out to be a blast. And it was the most successful editions of DataArt Calling. So the number of participants was 6% higher than in the other editions. And the number of DataArt experts willing to volunteer, women in our case, right? They were 10% higher than the other in other editions, and the landing page traffic was through the roof, and it was 36% higher. So as you can see, the brand impact went far beyond that we have planned. So this is all from my side, and I'm passing the floor to Marina again.
Yeah, so thank you, Alona. I will share to finalize our presentation 6 insights that we gained along the way, and we are ready to share them today. So first, some women criticized the initiative, and some men supported it, and vice versa. So you should be ready for that. Another insight was that mentees' goals were the same as in our general leadership mentoring program that I mentioned at the beginning. But however, many women had never applied to that general program. They joined She for Her because they wanted a safe women-to-women learning space. And this confirmed our hypothesis that more women would apply if they had this additional space for them. Another insight is that that it boosted confidence. Something what Alona said, in a way we didn't anticipate. Mentees described it as the experience as transformative and inspiring. When we look at the feedback forms that mentees fill out after they complete the program, these two words are the most frequent words that we see in feedback forms. Another beautiful outcome was that mentors benefited just as much as mentees. There was, and there still is, the whole movement on LinkedIn with posts, pictures, and testimonials. For instance, the first screenshot that you see, it's our CFO sharing her experiences as a mentor within the program. The network effect is real. These pairs continue to communicate after they complete the program, and this cross-functional communication helps business too, definitely. And the last insight, actually, and the biggest one, is it is a low-cost but very high-impact initiative. There are almost no expenses except for coordination, and it delivers tangible results. And everything you need is just a group of inspired women. So if your organization doesn't have anything like that yet, please don't hesitate. Approach your senior women leaders, invite them to grow a new generation of women leaders, and you will be surprised how quickly this creates a supportive community and brings business results, actually. So this is briefly it about the program in a 3-5-6-6 format. Thank you very much. Let's keep in touch, and we'll be happy to answer questions or continue this discussion.
Thank you, Marina and Elena. What a great presentation. And I loved how you shared just from the branding of it, the creation. It's, a lot of fun when you put a lot of passion into designing these programs and creating the experience. And when you do that, then you really do see great results. And from our research, we've been seeing how impactful mentoring and not just for the mentee, but also, as you mentioned, for the mentor to learn. We're kind of exchanging. We're learning from each other, whether you're the one that's mentoring or the one that's receiving. It's a really great experience for skills development, for overall learning and for engagement and for advancing in your career and also for the organization. Do we have any questions here? Perhaps let's start with how, maybe if you could go back a little bit, can you share how your audience responded initially to this program? We've been doing a lot of research in this area, and also I shared in the chat for those of you that want to participate in our study. We just had a Women in Leadership event a few weeks ago. We were discussing before we went live today, and this is just such a great topic. And I'm very excited about the research we're doing, recognizing your program here, and going into next year with a lot of really great examples of what we can continue to share and build upon. And so going back to, I would love to hear also, how did your audience initially respond to this?
I can take this question. Overall, the response was extremely positive. After the town hall where we announced the launch of the program, several colleagues DM'd me saying thank you for this cool initiative, sharing that they had already applied the minute they heard, and stressing how important it was for them to talk about the topics that I raised when I talked about the launch of the program, about self-doubt, about imposter syndrome, and so on. So this is the major part of the reaction. But I think it might be interesting for you to learn. There were just a couple of cases, interesting ones, when, for instance, one colleague, a female colleague, she shared that probably launching such special programs for women reinforces actually the message that women is a weak, sex, and they need some special treatment. So we had a discussion with her, and after that, actually, she became my mentee within this program. And there was another case when just as well one when we were presenting the program, one or two male colleagues commented that why then don't we have he for him program in this case, and so but those were basically two examples, two cases of kind of challenging the concept of the program. And that's when Alona and I, we sat down and we reviewed them, and we prepared our response to such comments if we get more. So speaking about this first comment about reinforcing the message that women is a weak sex, is that we were emphasizing that it's about removing structural and mindset barriers that limit women's ways to management and leadership. And there are many barriers, and probably more than men have. I'm sorry. And if to speak about comment, why don't we have he for him program? We were completely open, so we were ready to say, but we didn't get any comments anymore. But if there is such a need, there is an initiative, there is demand, of course, we would be happy to support such a program as well. Why not? So those were like very two concrete, challenging cases that were resolved actually quite well. But overall, the reaction was extremely positive. Yeah, it was like I'm not sure about the English equivalent, but we have a phrase that it was like pouring water into dry soil when it was, absorbed so well. It was needed.
That's a great analogy. And we often, I think our research and just talking to clients and our team, it's a continuous discussion around how much we offer or how we separate exclusive programs for just women or other diversity areas. And then, how does that overlap or integrate with overall leadership? And what we see, there's a place for both. And the more that you can integrate this program with your overall talent strategy and show the benefits and show how this impacts your overall organization and in the metrics here that you've shown, I think then being able, as you mentioned too, to have the answers to be able to I don't want to say defend, but to be able to illustrate the importance of this and the benefits, then it positions these programs stronger and to be able to get more buy-in and more participation and more resources. And can you also share a little bit more about your metrics and your how you've the types of concrete methods you use to evaluate the program's effectiveness?
Yeah, I will take that happily. So we had self-assessment, a baseline self-assessment, and then a post-program one, right? And then we also have a program rating. And we have a post-training interviews as well as post-training questionnaire. And also, we used statistics received from our organizational business intelligence team. They have this report, annual one, and thus we were able to see that more women got promoted. And also, we have this end of program evaluation questionnaire, which I already mentioned, and it helps to see whether the goals were achieved, right? And the delayed feedback helps to understand whether learning goals were applied, and as well as another thing organizational business intelligence helped us with is that annual reports about the share of women in the management roles, which also showed that it grew, right? And the narrative comments, we've made a comparative analysis of those in our open-ended questions of annual engagement survey, and thus we understood that there were few comments about gender imbalance. And we definitely used mentees testimonials. We communicated with them right after, and when some time passed, and then 1 year after too, and thus we understood many different things, and also we saw that this cross-functional community is stronger than ever. It's live, and we can say that we've achieved what we were aiming at. So this is something in a nutshell what we did, what were the methods.
That's fantastic. You had such a robust approach to using the data to make decisions, and then the full range of the way that you assess the impact through questions, through discussions, through key metrics and goals that you've accomplished. So that's fantastic. And we're just a few minutes here past our time. I just want to thank you both again for joining me today, and for our attendees for joining us to learn more about your award-winning program here on mentorship and coaching, and just really excited about what you all are doing. Excited for next year of what you have, what you continue to build here. And again, thank you for sharing, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for the invitation and the award for acknowledging our efforts.
Thank you for having
Thank you,
us.
everyone, for
And
joining.
happy holidays. I love your background as well today. It makes me
Yeah.
so cheerful and festive.
That was the goal. Yeah,
It's
The
thanks,
fun.
intention.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice one.
Take care. Bye-bye.